Hello, welcome back to my kitchen. If you're new here, I'm Tina, and this is Hanging with Frugal Tina. So today we're going to do something a little bit different. I had some extra meat from things I, made other recipes, and I put a little bit to the side, and I don't want it to go bad. But it also reminded me of a time when, I would get to the end of the month, and I still do sometimes. It's not a time like it's a long time ago. Where you just got to get it to the end of the month. You got to get it until you get some money. You got to figure out what you're going to eat. So what I do is I just start pulling things from around the house, and that's what we're going to do tonight. Tonight's dinner is based on if I couldn't go to the store, if I had no money, what could I pull together that might make a nice meal for the 5 of us. So without further ado, let's get it. Let's go. Let's heat up those pots. Come on. Here's some things that I pulled out. I have a couple of sweet potatoes. I have 5 pieces of chicken thigh. I have some broccoli. I haven't decided if I want to use that corn. It's whole baby corn. I'm going to think about that. Now, here's something else I'm actually considering, and I can't believe I'm considering it. But there's a red pepper, right? You would think that would be good, right? Hey, throw that in there. Boop. So I'm going to cut it open and see if it's like rotten all the way through. If not, I'm going to dice it up and probably throw that in there as well. Maybe. I don't know. Depending on if I can get myself to eat it or not, because I saw that bad spot. Anyway, so what we're going to do is we're going to, thinking maybe some kind of a sheet pan. This is what I have. I'm not even sure how much broccoli's in there. It looks like a lot, but it might just be because I already broke it off the head and it looks like more. So I guess that'll decide whether or not I throw that corn in there. I do have some regular potatoes around the house, so maybe I could throw some of that in there. But this is what we're going to start with. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get my vegetables washed off. All right, for the broccoli, I try to get them as best I can. They always want to float upside right, but I try to get it down in the water. That's just plain old tepid water, and then I add a little bit of vinegar. It does not ruin the taste of it. It doesn't add to anything. It just kind of, and it's white distilled vinegar. I just pour like maybe a little splash or 2 or 3 or 4. Oop, that was way too much. And then I'm just going to let that do its thing in there while I prep some other things and just let that do it. All right. When I tell you I'm using things up, I'm using things up. Look, that's got a sprout on it. That's got a rotten spot in it. So we're using stuff up. I'm going to peel the potatoes and cut up that pepper, and then I'll show you what we're going to do. All right, so I got a couple of pieces out of it. I have to use that. It was rotten. I cut off most of it. I'm going to take the sweet potatoes. I found an extra one laying around, so I threw that in there. We're going to dice these up into whatever size piece that you want. And then we're going to start seasoning things up a little bit. I'm really not going to make them too small, because when I make them really small, I always burn them, and I hate that. Okay. So I'm probably going to chop this literally into big chunks. I just sharpened my knife. I don't know why it's not going through, but like I could put my hand around it. It's quite a big piece. So that's what I'm going to do with the sweet potatoes. And then I'm going to decide if I'm going to use that corn or not, because I don't want to have too much, because then we'll have too many leftovers. All right, this is the last of it. I got a question to ask. As I was cutting up a potato, I found like spots that weren't so good in there. Would you use it? Or I just lopped off a great big piece and then used the rest. But would you use it? Let me know in the comments. All right, for the broccoli, I'm going to make them about the same size. The big ones, I'm just like cutting it right down the middle. But I'm going to leave them pretty chunky. I think I pretty much already had these ready for the other recipe I had. So I got a lot of it done. The only thing I hadn't done was wash it off. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna just clip off whatever ends or cut them in half. And then we're gonna add the seasoning to all of it. All right, I don't think I'm gonna use the corn because I think I have a lot of vegetables, more than we can eat. Once I get it on a sheet pan, I'll decide if I want to add that corn or not. But you're gonna add a couple of tablespoons of olive oil, about 2 tablespoons. I'm just enough to cover everything. So we're gonna add, now if you were doing this, I have a recipe for like 2 potatoes and like maybe a crown of broccoli. I can leave that listed in the bottom. But I'm just gonna season it with my heart today because we're doing that kind of cooking. So I have some garlic powder I'm gonna stick in there. We're just gonna dump it in. And the same old spices I use all the time. You use whatever you like. That is onion powder. Some smoked paprika. Regular paprika would do fine as well. Doesn't want to come out. Some oregano. I don't know why, it just feels like it should go in there today. Couple of shimmy shakes. Some salt. You could use regular salt. I prefer seasoned salt. Gotta add some salt though, because potatoes can take a lot. Some pepper. Just took the top off. Now I have some cayenne out here. I want to use it, but I'm scared. All right, so let's get to mixing this up. I got a glove on one hand. That's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna mix it up. All right, I think that's good right there. Seems pretty seasoned to me. I'm gonna throw this on my sheet pan. I have my sheet pan lined with some foil and then I put parchment paper on it just for easier clean. Easier clean up, I should say, not easier clean. All right, let me add that to the sheet pan and then we'll move on to the chicken. I haven't decided. I'm thinking honey mustard, but I'm not sure. All right, that's what that's looking like. I took a vote with my children because those who want to eat it. They said no corn. They think this is going to be more than enough. So, all righty. So, no corn. I still have the red peppers, but I'm going to throw them in a little bit farther down the road. Let's season up the chicken and get everything in the oven at the same time. All right, so we were out of Dijon mustard for the honey mustard, but I'm going to do something else. I definitely want to season my meat even though we're using mustard because that's how I do. I'm going to do the same old that I just used. Onion powder, garlic powder. Ooh, that's all right. Because I like it seasoned all the way through. A little bit of seasoned salt. A lot of bit of pepper. That was a lot. It's 5 pieces. It'll go through. Okay, so what I'm going to do, because I don't have Dijon, well, I do have a squirt of it. I squirted some yellow mustard into my Dijon mustard. Oh, it's all over it. That's all right. So I'm going to give it a shaky shake. It's the best I could do because I don't have anything. And like I said, we're working with what we got. So I didn't go to the store and buy stuff. All right. So it'll tamper down the mustard a little bit, the Dijon. And then when we add the honey, it won't be as bad. Well, it's not bad. It's just a different mustard than I wanted. All right. Let me tap that down a little bit. Meanwhile, with my good hand, we're going to add some honey. A couple of tablespoons worth. Hold on. I need an extra hand to squeeze it. My hand's dirty. There we go. A good amount because I don't have the Dijon. There we go. All right. Let's mush that around and see what we got going on. And then we're going to put this in the... I probably got more mustard than I need, but it'll be all right. It'll always be all right because some of it's going to stay in the pot. All right. Let me taste it. See what it tastes like. Oh, it's not yellowy at all. I thought it was going to taste too yellow mustard because my mouth wanted honey mustard. All right, so we're going to get this onto a sheet pan and we'll go from there. All righty. So we're just going to add it to the sheet pan and put it in the oven. And I sure hope it tastes good. I'll let you know if that was a mistake with the mustard, but I don't think so. There was Dijon mustard in there. It just wasn't as much as I needed, so, whoops. Have to season up under there. All right, so now that we have all of the chicken ready, we're going to add everything into the oven at one time. I know that people do this on one sheet, but I don't know. I'm funky when it comes to chicken. So, that. All right. So I'm just going to use a little bit of whatever's left over here and rub it around. All right. Just going to add some in there. Boop, boop, boop. All right, in the oven that goes probably about 35-40 minutes, depending on the temperature of your oven or how it cooks. All right, there we go. The red peppers are going to stay out till just a few minutes before everything's done, and then I'll toss those in. All right, it's been about 30 minutes or so. I turned the potatoes and the broccoli about 10 minutes ago. I'm going to stick these in the oven with them now. All right, I found some Hawaiian rolls I had left over from Aldi's. I'm going to throw those in the oven real quick, let them brown up, top it with a little bit of butter and honey, and we're going to eat that with dinner. All right, so I'm going to put a little bit of butter in here. Oh, thought it was dirty for a minute. Just a little bit of butter. I always put too much butter. And a squeeze of some honey. And we're just going to melt that in the microwave. Alrighty. We're going to give that a little mixy poo. And we're just going to brush that little bit of honey butter right on top of our rolls in just a minute. Alrighty. It's coming out of the oven. Ooh, I hope I have my camera set good. Woo! That is what the sheet pan, that's not burnt. It's all the seasoning on there. Let me put that over here, keep it warm while the rest of it's finishing up. Chicken is done. All I have left to do is baste those rolls, and we are gonna be eating. We are all done, and there goes my plate. I almost burnt my biscuits, almost, but we'll be okay. I'm gonna meet you at the table.
If you get any benefit at all from my content, you can help me out by clicking like, share, commenting, and definitely hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you'll be notified every time I upload a new video.
We're at the table. So Eric says, I think I've smelt this before. I said it's honey mustard. All right, let's go right in. Try the chicken. I just kind of threw some spices in there and some mustard and whatnot on it. Salt, pepper.
I got a giant piece.
Ready? Go. It's really good.
Yeah.
Let's get a little bit of everything of the vegetable. I'm gonna chew while I'm cutting some pieces off. All right, I'm gonna get a little bit of the red pepper. Sorry, I probably should have prepared it better, but I didn't. All right, got a little piece of broccoli, a little bit of the potato, and some of the red pepper. Oh, you got a big old bite. Ready? Let's go. I really like that. I'm not always a fan of roasted broccoli, even though I love broccoli. All right, so see what I did to the bun. I nearly burnt them, but
Good.
the honey carries through.
It does.
All right. You like it?
Like all of it.
Okay. Let me get everybody else fed, and we'll see what they think about it. Bye-bye. Dinner's over. How'd we do? Oh! That's all that's left. But Trey hasn't eaten yet, and that's his helping. So let's see what the others thought about it. Eric, what'd you think?
It was really good. I really liked the mixed vegetables, and the chicken was really great.
Great. Aiden?
I really enjoyed it.
Tyler?
Very good. Loved it very much.
And me. I'll put up what Trey thinks about it when he gets here. I really enjoyed it. I'm not a fan of roasted broccoli, but it was good. It really was. I'd eat it again like that. I love broccoli. I'm just not a fan of roasted broccoli. So probably would have been a little bit better if I had full honey mustard, but it was still very, very tasty. And that's what I had in the house, and I worked with what I had. So I just wanted to show you that it is possible to figure something out, right? So there you have it. I hope you like it. I hope you try it. Leave me a comment either way. See you later. Bye.